Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Shanzeh, and my project's name is Aid for Educators. Next slide. I'm a rising junior in Escondido, and I love reading or working out whenever I have free time. I also heavily enjoy contributing to my community, which is why I joined Close the Gap, as I saw it as an opportunity to make a meaningful contribution to my community. Growing up, I would hear many teachers state that they have to spend great amounts of their own money on school supplies. This made me think about students who do not have access to school supplies because their teachers or school cannot afford it. They miss out on many learning experiences and lessons which can affect their development. So, for my social impact project, I chose the fourth goal of the United Nations, which is improving the quality of education. And I plan to do this by helping teachers receive school supplies. Next slide. Well, what exactly is the problem surrounding school supplies? Well, a classroom needs school supplies to increase engagement and improve the students' learning and creativity skills. A lack of supplies can cause problems for both teachers and students. This project ultimately aims to help everyone in a classroom. For students to receive the best education they can get, they should have materials accessible to them. This means that teachers need all the support they can get to retrieve these materials. However, the problem is that teachers are having to spend too much money on supplies due to a lack of funding offered to schools. This causes lessons to be canceled or altered in a way that makes them less engaging. Next slide, please. According to the nationwide teacher survey, 97% of teachers said that their budget was not enough to cover their needs. $895 was the average amount of money found that teachers spent out of their own pockets on school supplies in the 2024 to 2025 year, according to this same survey. According to an article by the National Education Association, there have been multiple studies conducted that show that 94% of teachers spent their own money on basic school supplies in 2023, including one survey by the US Department of Education. Next slide. I interviewed three different teachers at my local elementary school that I usually volunteer at to better understand this issue. These insights came out to three things from my project. One teacher stated that she spent around $1,000 out of her own pocket each year just on school supplies. For me, this was confirmation that I should use my project to raise funds for school supplies. I also asked the teacher if they believed they received enough support from the district, and they thought that the school district doesn't get enough financial support from the government. This gave me an idea to expand my project to the government, as it may help dismantle the root of the problem. I also asked teachers if there are other forms of support they want to receive, and they stated that they wanted support from the community. This inspired me to create a toolkit for teachers. Next slide. My solution for these issues was to gather school supplies for teachers. I did this by fundraising for supplies and hosting a school supply drive. Next slide. So, to raise awareness that I was willing to help teachers receive supplies for their classroom, I posted this fact in more than 30 Facebook groups and emailed all the teachers that I knew were in office during the summer. Four teachers responded through email, and one responded from a Facebook group. To get started, I created a general GoFundMe and started fundraising for supplies. I hung up flyers throughout my neighborhood on mailboxes and bus stops. I also emailed local businesses, mom and pop shops, restaurants, and malls asking for donations. I asked the local newspaper to put up a letter to residents asking for donations, which they agreed to, but I have to follow up with them about this. Next slide. I was able to host a school supply drive at a store in my local mall. I have worked with the manager of the store to collaborate with parent teacher organizations in Escondido to receive school supplies, which they will donate at a later date. Next slide. For the first challenge, I was struggling to collect donations. To make up for this, I shared the fundraiser with everyone I know and told them to share and donate. I drafted a formatted message that they could send to their relatives or friends. This ended up working very well as people were more willing to donate if they knew the person running the fundraiser. Many places were also declining to host a school supply drive. I had to reach out to all the local businesses I knew, and all it really took was one yes for it to happen. I was also having trouble producing the results I wanted early on in the project due to my poor time management skills. And to overcome this, I started setting deadlines for when my goals should be reached. For example, I would tell myself I need to raise about $150 by the end of this week or collect at least five supplies. Next slide.
And there's 1 minute remaining. Go ahead.
Aid for Educators has raised $425 so far. This is about half of what the average teacher spends on school supplies. This money has been used to order cooking classes for a new cooking class at my local elementary school, a table for one class and a table for one class at my local high school, along with other supplies such as pencils, erasers, and art supplies. There are more supplies coming from the parent teacher organizations, but I have helped more than 120 people and collected 6,753 supplies. I also reached out to my local congressman and local government to prevent this further issue from further occurring. Reaching out to them was my way of putting pressure on them and showing them that residents care about education. They replied and agreed that this was an issue and that education is one of their top priorities. Next slide. In the middle, an English teacher is holding the table that I donated. The teacher on the right is holding a box with some cooking supplies, and the students on the left are holding 2 rolling pins for their cooking class. Next slide. My communication skills have greatly improved due to this project. I had to learn how to effectively market my fundraiser in a way that would encourage people to donate when writing letters or visiting stores in person. To achieve this, I carefully planned out these things and would practice beforehand. I learned what works and what doesn't. I also heavily utilized Canva in this project, which forced me to use my creative side to make the designs appealing. I learned how important persistence is, as that is what got me to make progress. I had to face many rejections in order to achieve at least one yes, which motivated me to keep going. Next slide. The impact I created from this project has inspired me to continue. I will host a dine event for the fundraiser on August 25th. I will also finish the toolkit, which will be a collection of resources to help teachers collect supplies or raise funds for them. This will also be in website form to make this easily accessible. Next slide. Thank you for listening. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question. Hi, Shanzeh. This is Sonia. So, can you talk a little bit about your toolkit and guide? Is that to outlast you and make sure that it's a sustainable solution so that everyone else can help with fundraising in future for these supplies?
So the toolkit is essentially resources such as grants and other opportunities for teachers for teachers to get funds for. I came across them as I was trying to get money for my project, but I couldn't really apply to them since I wasn't a teacher and I wasn't qualified for it. So this gave me an idea to put them in a list and make them in website form so that teachers can easily access these. I plan on collaborating with Donors Choose or Adopt a Classroom and other organizations that support teachers in order to get this website out and to make this easily accessible to teachers.
Thank you.
Seagulls, you have a hand raised?
Yeah, I thought it was a great project, but I'm just curious. I was so interested that you had both collecting money and collecting supplies, and I'm wondering, what do you think was the more had more impact or would have more potential for your project in the future? Um, Going for money to donate, or actually the supplies themselves?
So I used the money to purchase supplies that these teachers needed. So I will say I think that fundraising definitely allowed me to create more of an impact because it's easier to market. More stores or restaurants are able to host that instead of like a school supply drive box. I also got multiple restaurants saying that they would be able to do a dine-in event, but I ultimately chose Upper East as that restaurant made the process easier. And I do plan on hosting more dine-in events for the fundraiser in the future.
Thank you.
Naomi, I'm wildly impressed at the different avenues you took, right? Like the collecting the supplies, taking the like putting a list together so that your project can live on, and your interest in influencing the government to do something which actually in the long run will have more impact than anything else. How was your experience with that, and is that something that you feel is replicable?
Do you mean like how was my experience with the project?
With the whole trying to influence the government.
Oh, I would say that compared to fundraising for supplies and trying to get supplies, it was surprisingly easier than that because these politicians and like your local government, they're open to what residents say and what the community wants. All you really have to do is go on their website, and they usually have a section where you can fill this out, and they will oftentimes respond back.
Very cool. Cool project.
Thank you.